All right, so we are going to talk about whiteboard.chat. Welcome all the Microsoft experts who recently joined our free program to use whiteboard.chat. So I'm going to show you a few slides and then I'm going to demonstrate the product live. And anytime you have questions, please feel free to type them out on Zoom chat and we'll get to them periodically. Again, we'll try and showcase some of the Microsoft features. We are a Microsoft partner. There's team integration, there's OneNote integration, there's immersive reader, there's more stuff coming down the pipe as well. So we'll try and show you some of these, but there's a special webinar that we constructed for Microsoft only. Maybe Dhaval can post a link in the chat and you can review it as well. So like I said, we are going to demonstrate whiteboard.chat. We'll demonstrate we'll invite you to some live experiences with us. And of course, we can do Q&A as we go along. The main marquee feature behind whiteboard.chat is observability and engagement, right? So what whiteboard.chat allows you to do is to create a lesson by uploading content, by using the plethora of tools that we have built into the platform, and then inviting students to get a copy of the content that you have created. And you can watch them go through the lesson live. Each student gets their own copy, and you can watch them go through their lesson live, and you can interact with them on a one-on-one basis, or you can put them in groups so that they can interact with each other. That's the main marquee feature of the platform, right? And that we have been told increases engagement from students by a magnitude because they know the teacher is looking at them, they know they are getting the right attention, right? So and again, whiteboard.chat was created by accident during the pandemic, and it grew thanks to all the teachers giving us feedback and suggestions from around the world. So you can keep sending us feedback at our email, feedback@whiteboard.chat. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, where we post very periodic updates. We almost do features almost every day based on feedback that we receive from teachers. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the basic stuff and then we'll jump back into some of the Microsoft specific features. So whiteboard.chat is a browser based platform. So I'm going to share my browser. Right. So it's a browser-based platform. It works on all browsers. The student privacy is super important to us. So if you look at the bottom left here, we have a privacy in terms of condition and some more information about the platform. Inclusion is super important to us as well. So you can find some more information up here. How you start using the platform is pretty easy. You don't need an account even as a teacher to start using it unless you want to save your work. But you click this start drawing button, right? So there are two modes whiteboard.chat works in. One is the collaboration mode, which is like any other whiteboard out there, right? Where there's a single whiteboard, all the participants come onto the same whiteboard, but they can collaborate, but they can also clobber each other, right? They can look at each other's work, they can erase each other's work and so forth. But there's this teaching mode, which we are going to focus this webinar on today, where you can live teach individual student boards, right? And students cannot see each other's work. They cannot interact with each other unless the teacher puts them in groups, right? So that's the mode that we're going to talk about. So it's very simple. You just click this button and you get started. Dhaval, was there a question?
No, Pawan.
Okay. All right. So you get started. You can name your board something. The first thing that teachers do is go to the instructor board, name that something. So let's call it Thursday, October 7th, right? And that's it. So now you can upload content. So uploading content is super easy. You can click this upload button here. This left-hand side is your main toolbar. You can open this up by clicking the top button here. You can see all the tools that are available. If you really like a tool, even if it is nested deep inside, you can click this little heart. It will put it out there as your favorite tool on the top. So you can click the upload button, for example. You can upload files from the computer, from Google Drive. You can even use your phone as a scanner to scan textbooks or notes directly into whiteboard.chat, right? But most people use one of these two options where you can upload the files. So I'm going to upload a PDF that has multiple pages on it. So you can say upload this guy. What whiteboard.chat does is for each page in the PDF, it creates a page in whiteboard.chat. So you'll see that we have 3 pages in the PDF. It created 3 pages in whiteboard.chat. Now you can start annotating on it. So you can start, of course, you can use the pen tool if you want to, right? You can start typing on it. I can use I'll talk about some of the speech to text features as well, but you can start annotating on it using the pen. Now, after this is done, you can invite students. So to invite students, you use this button on the top right. So you can invite the student from here. So you click the button, you can directly share it in Teams. If you are using Teams, you can directly share it to Microsoft Teams. You can also copy this student invite by clicking this button. And then if I were to open another window, you can see that what the student experience looks like. I'll also share this with Dhaval, who's my colleague. So you can see 2 students join. And when the students join, they don't need to create an account. They don't need to log in. They'll be asked for a name so that they can be identified to the teacher. So let's say call this student 1, and they get their own copy. Right. One thing you can notice here that I've limited the size of the tools that is available to the students. So that's useful when you're starting up for the first time. You don't want to have the students access all the tools, so you can limit the number of tools that they have access to. From the top here, you can change the pen color, for example. You can change it to a different color. So students, you can see that the whole board changes color. Students love this, that they can see the color that they pick everywhere, right? Some teachers don't like it, and there's a setting to change that too. But you can see that they can start typing, they can start writing immediately as soon as they get access to the board, right? But they cannot erase the teacher's work. So the teacher, whatever the PDF background, the check marks that I have done, even the example that I put, they cannot erase it. They can, of course, erase their own stuff, but they cannot erase anything that the teacher has put on. And then they cannot see other students as well. But the teacher, on the other side, they can go to this grid view from the bottom here, and they can see the whole class live as they're working through the lesson, right? So you can see Dhaval is doing something here, right? You can see he's filling up all the answers already, right? He has even raised their hand. So Dhaval can raise their hand by clicking this to say, hey, I need help, I'm finished, any of these different options, right? And then you can either click this to take you to Dhaval's board. It will take you as a teacher to the board where Dhaval is at, right? So this is on Dhaval's board now. You can see from the top, it's on Dhaval's board. You can work one-on-one with Dhaval. You can say, hey, you're doing a good job. You can even give them a sticker. So if you go to this thing on the right-hand side called Gizmos, we have thousands of different manipulators that we have put onto the platform. You can go to like feedback stickers, for example, that You can say, okay, awesome sauce. You're doing a really good job. Right. And that's it. And then this is only you're interacting one-on-one with Dhaval. Other students don't see it, but you can actually see what's going on, and then you can go back to the top of the class and continue watching as the students go through the lesson. Even if they go to a different page, you'll see that it's like a camera which is on top of the kid's shoulder. You can constantly see what they're doing on what page. Right. So this is the basics. I'll stop here for a second and see if there are any questions.
Yes, Pavan, there is one question. To prepare lessons beforehand, do I select manage boards?
Yeah. So if you want to create less, so anything that you do automatically gets saved in your cloud storage. You can get to it from manage boards from here, or instead of what most teachers do is that just like when I started. People. Yeah. So instead of starting with the start drawing, you can go directly to your manage boards and you can pick a lesson that is available. And you can prepare this lesson in advance as well. So you don't have to do it while the class is running. Most teachers prepare it on the weekend or the week before. They reuse the boards from their last year as well. So you can prepare your boards in advance and share the link with the students either in Teams or in their LMS when it is ready, right? And then when the students can get to that link anytime, even if you are not connected, they can work on it asynchronously as well, or they can work synchronously. Both of them work.
There is a second question, Pavan. Can you use the chat feature to chat one-on-one with each student?
Yes. So, okay. So I'll show you the chat really quickly as well, since that question is asked. So to enable the chat, you go to this participants panel from this avatar menu on the top, right? You click that. You can see a lot of options there. You can make people like participants co-teachers if you want to. You can showcase a single student's work. So if somebody is doing well, Dhaval is doing really well, let's say, right? You can showcase his work to the rest of the class. If you click this button, everybody's board gets updated to Dhaval's board. But it's anonymous, so you don't know who's being showcased. You can showcase multiple students, so you can compare and contrast as well. So I'll disable that. But to chat, you can create chat from here as well. So you create this chat that only the teacher can do that. And once the teacher creates chat, right? So by default, the way chat works is the teacher's messages go to all the students, but the students' messages only go back to the teacher, right? Nobody else. And another cool thing about the chat is that you can set your language. The recipient can set their language. So they can say, hey, I'm not conversant in English. I want to get my chat in, let's say, German, right? So whatever the teacher now after this, whatever the teacher types, right, sends a message. You can see it gets converted to German in real time, so the student can understand better. And the teacher can do two ways to chat with a single student or a subset of students. One, you can pick it from here. You can say, hey, I want to chat with only these students. Or if you join the students board, so if you go back to the grid view, for example, and I go back to the students board, I can join it from here. Right now I'm on this students board. Now when I chat, you can see it says recipients, people on this board only. Right, so that means that I'm chatting only with this student one-on-one, right? So none of the other people in the class will see it. You can chat only with the student one-on-one basis. All right. Anything else, Dhaval?
No, Pavan, continue.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. So these are the basic things to get started. This is all you really need to know about whiteboard.chat. Just the basic tools here where you can You can have these drawing tools. If you click this little arrow, you'll see the more drawing tools like the line, arrow, double arrow, shapes, like you can draw. You even have a compass. You can do rectangles, polygons, circles. There's a magic draw, which is pretty cool, which tries to recognize what you're drawing. It's a lot of fun, at least for me, right? So you can see, hey, I'm drawing a bicycle, and then you can change it to a bicycle. Similarly, you can actually have a handwriting recognition as well that works, and it not only recognizes English, but you can make it recognize 100 different languages, right? So you can, I know Hindi, so I can make it say, okay, well, there you go. So you can see that it recognized what I was writing. So you can use this for fun or for real work as well, right? And then in the text mode, there are other modes as well. You can do, we have a very extensive math editor built into the platform. So if you're a math teacher, they love this, right? So you can actually write really complex equations onto the platform. Right, so you can actually do a lot of different stuff with it. All of this, the syntax is available here in the help section. So if you click this help on the top, you can see, and there's a getting started guide. There is there's a teacher's guide, there's a student guide, there's a math input guide. So you can go through those, right? You can see how you can write really complex math equations, quadratic equations, polynomials, fractions, summations, anything, integrals, right? All of that stuff. And you can also auto correct it, which I'm not going to cover in the basics webinar, but in our advanced webinars, we show how you can set it up to do auto correction, even for math equations or text answers like this one. Or you can also do auto corrections for drag and drop activities, which I will show you in a second as well. All right. So I'm going to erase some of this stuff. So I'll continue showing you some of the other features here. There's a, of course, you can do notes. So you can do post-it notes, like any of the whiteboards, you can put a post-it note, right? And you can type in it, right? And then it gets onto the post-it note. You can do grading as well, manual grading. Which again we cover in the math section, but essentially whatever you put in, when we say manual grading, what you can do is that if you, let's say this student Dhaval is doing a good job, you go to their board, you can go to manual grade and you can give them like, okay, you got 90%, right? And this will show up in their report, which you can download, and you can look at the grades on each and every page that is given to them. We can do auto grading as well, but this is for manual grading if you want to use it.
Pawan, there is a question. Can you just repeat how you can add or share with students to see them instantly participating in the board?
Right, so to invite students, what you do is that you click this button, invite, right? You can share it with Teams, or if you use Teams, you can just add whiteboard.chat as an application, which I will show you as well. But if you add the student, so when the student gets this link from LMS, for example, right, they'll get this link. If they open it, let me open another student in a different browser, so I can show you that again. Right, so this is the student. Let's say they got the link and they clicked it. Right, so all they need to do is click the link, and they'll be asked. They'll join the board immediately. Right, the student has already used whiteboard.chat, so they were not asked for their name, but you can see that they can start. They get their own copy immediately, and the teacher doesn't need to do anything. As soon as the student joins, they'll get their own copy, and the teacher can view them from grid view. Right, so you can view the students working live automatically. So there's nothing explicit that you need to do to add a student. You just need to share that link from the invite button with the student, and they get added to the class automatically. You can restrict who you want in your class, right? You can restrict whether you want the only signed in students, for example, from the participant panel here, but that's a restriction that you will have to set up on your own.
There is a question about the math equation that you wrote. The question is, can you show how to save the equation so that you can quickly access it later?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So just like I was showing you, we have all these pre-built gizmos, right? You have thousands of these gizmos here, which I will cover some of them in the future in a bit. What you can do is that any of these objects, if you use the select option from here, this guy, and you let's say select it, you can say add to my objects, right? So what that does is that you can give it a name, right? And then say create, right? And then that gets saved in your gizmo. So if you, sorry, in my object. So if you go to here, you see my objects as the first option. So you can see that I have my math equation saved. So I can reuse it again and again if I want to. Right? So basically it just gets saved here in my objects as well. So any of the objects that we don't have, you like your bit emojis, you can put anything else that you would want, right, into the platform, and you can get saved in here as well as your object, your personal objects, your personal stickers. All right. Okay, let me keep going. So on the, again, these are all advanced features. You don't need to use them. So, okay, let me show you some Microsoft Immersive Reader. So we have Immersive Reader built into the platform. So any of the PDF or any of the text that is pulled in, if the students use, so it doesn't. Okay, so you need to don't do the very simple tools. If you do this, you have to turn that off. So students have access to more tools. So they can use the select, right? You can see that any PDF, they can be read it in Immersive Reader automatically. So this is very cool that you can read, it can read them, any PDF or any text in their language, in their chosen language in Immersive Reader, right? You can also set, another cool thing we did was based on teachers' feedback that you can edit the Immersive Reader text. So again, using the select option, you can say, hey, I want to edit the Immersive Reader text because I'm not happy with, I don't want the kids to read all of this stuff, right? Or I want them to read something different. And you can edit it, you can save it, right? And then when the students open it in Immersive Reader, they'll see your edited version instead of what actually the PDF scanning produced, right? Which is also super useful. So continuing down the tools, so you can add media, you can add audio, video, you can add content from your webcam directly onto the platform, right? You can add, there's a breakdown tool, which is quite interesting as well. So for example, if you have anything that can be broken down, for example, currency, right? So if I were to go to, we have currencies from around the world in here, right? If something is missing, let us know, we can quickly add it. Let's say I use US currency, I start with $20, right? I can go to my tools, I can use the breakdown tool, and then when I click it, you can see it breaks down to 2 tens. If I break it down more, it becomes 2 fives, right? And ones and quarters and so forth. So you can continue breaking that down. And you can do that with currency. You can do it with math manipulators like 100 blocks, 10 blocks. You can do it with fractions, any of those. That's super interesting. We have this drop zone, which is again super powerful. So if I were to create a drop zone here, you can do multiple different things with it. One of the things that teachers like to do is make it a counter again. So you can either right click or you can use the select, and you can make an auto counter, for example. Now using the same, any of the things that can be counted, for example, you can actually see that it's counting, hey, this is $1.25, right? And then if I put a $5 bill, so it automatically counts that, and it will count even equations, fractions. It will do math manipulatives. It will do place value charts, all of that stuff in this auto counter as well, which is quite interesting. Right. We of course have an infinite cloner built in. So any of the objects that you want to make copies of, you can just keep dragging it. It keeps making copies of that object that you picked in the first place. Right. We have select crop built into the platform as well. So you can, like, for example, if you want to keep only part of the PDF, right, and you can say crop it to that, you can just draw around it, and then it'll remove the rest and just keep the portion that you selected, right? Maybe I didn't select it properly. There you see. So it actually just selected the portion that I picked, right? And then there's this thing called time machine, which is also pretty cool. So if let's say your students were working asynchronously at their own time, right? You can, let's say Dhaval was doing something. You can go into this thing we call the time machine, and you can go backwards or forwards in time and watch the students as they were working in the lesson, right? So you can see how much time they were spending on what piece and how long did they take to do that. So it helps you to gauge where the students are stuck or where they would probably need help. So that's all in the tools section. There are again infinite possibilities, but I don't want to cover all of that. Otherwise, it becomes inundating in the first basic webinar itself. I'll stop for a second and see if there are any questions again.
Yes, Pawan, there is one question. Can we add classes?
Yeah, so what most teachers, so let me show you the manage boards. So what most teachers do is that they can create, so just like what I did for my October 7th class, you can see this is, if I go to manage boards, I can see my October 7th class. I can see all the students in that class getting saved in this manage boards automatically. If I want to go back here, I can just click this little eye icon. It'll take me back to my class. I can make copies. So if I click this little cloud on the top, I can say, hey, save another copy. So you can say this is October 7th or section 9B, right? And then it'll make a copy of what I just did. There you go. You see, it made a copy October 7th, section 9B, which is a copy of my board that I created for my class. So you can make many copies. This doesn't have any students because this is a different instance. You can use it in a different class completely. You can also share this with your co-teachers. So you can actually send a copy to other teachers in your school, or you can even share it with the community. So we have a lot of boards that teachers have contributed. You can go to manage boards and community boards. You can see there's a lot of content that teachers have contributed from around the world for free, right? You can look at that. You can get inspiration from that, and or you can actually use it as well if you want to use it for your lessons. Any other questions, Dhaval?
No, Pawan.
All right. So, so one more thing that maybe what I will do is I will create a bingo board, which is quite interesting. A lot of teachers use it for playing bingo in their school. So what I'm going to do is that I'll again go to, you can do it through manage boards, or you can go to start teaching directly. So this creates a new board for me. So now what I will do is that I'll upload, let's say I have a PDF. Right. So this PDF is special. It actually has for each page in the PDF is a different bingo tile, right? So you can upload this into whiteboard.chat. So you can go here you can tell whiteboard.chat to upload Bingo. So instead of upload files, I pick upload Bingo, right? And then I can look for the Bingo here directly. So what this does is that instead of creating multiple pages, it will just randomly assign each participant one tile out of the Bingo tiles, right? And you can now, when you share this with students, you can see that as they're playing Bingo, what they're getting, right? How many of these things they're getting as you call it out. You can actually put spinners here as well. So if I were to go to widgets, for example, I can put a spinner, right? And then you can put actually what I wanted to put here, shy, happy, sad. Then I can put this here, and then we can play Bingo together. Now, I'll share this with you guys, so you'll get access to this board as well. So you can invite, again, I'm going to put this in the Zoom chat. If you click it, you'll join as students. You can see as I can also join from this other browser on the side, so you can see it. So you can see that the students get access now. Somebody's Dhawal spun the spinner, right? So you can see who spun it as well. And then if you have that tile, you can either color it, or I can, by default, remember the students cannot move objects that the teachers put on the boards, right? But you can make manipulators for, or any of the objects that the teacher puts on there. Let's say you want to put 100 block, right? And I make this smaller using dragging the corner. And then I can say enable student clone, right? So now if you, as a student, if you use the move and resize tool, you can drag and drop that little thing to cover your Bingo tiles, right? So that becomes useful as well if you want the students to be able to move objects that you have put on the board. So you can do a lot of different activities using that manipulative as well. Right, again, and the good part about playing like this is that you can watch the students live as they're playing, right? You can actually see who's doing well, who needs help, who's not getting any of the answers, right? And then what do we need to do to make it such that everybody wins? You can kind of cheat, right? So you can actually do that as well. So which is quite interesting too. I've set up the spinner that anybody can spin it in the class, but in the settings, you can set it such that only the teacher can spin it, any of that stuff. So you can change as you see fit. Another cool thing that we recently added is another, if you go to the, let me do this on the second page, you can go to the tile editor. So in the widget section, we actually have a piano built in, we have a rec and rec board, we have a whole bunch of grids. So music teachers like this. So if I go to the grids, for example, right, you can have a regular grid, we have college line grids here, right? So it makes it look like a nice piece of paper. We we have you can do coordinate planes in here as well. So if you wanted to draw a coordinate plane, you can say, okay, create a coordinate plane, it'll create a coordinate plane for you. There's also a music sheet. So if I, in the grid section, there's also a music sheet. So if I wanted to teach music, and then you can use the, from the gizmos on the, there are, if you go to music, you can actually find all the notes, the treble clef and so forth, right? So you can actually teach music theory with it as well. There's also a xylophone built into the platform. There's a 2-octave piano. So it's for all subjects, all students really, right? So that's the intention here. But you can embed YouTube videos into the platform directly. So if you have a YouTube video you want to put in, you can go to YouTube, for example, pick a video. Like, let's say, and then you can say, hey, put the video here, start at time 20 seconds, end at time 30 seconds. And then if you guys go to your second page, you should be able to see it. And it'll only play, it'll only play that portion of the video. It'll only play that portion of the video, and it'll take out all the ads as well. So that's useful because the students don't need to jump around into different tools, and they can only watch the portion of the video that you want them to watch. So it's super easy to embed external websites, external videos, all into the platform as well. Right. And then if I go to the third page, again, you can do this, you prepare your lesson in advance, or you can do it as the students are joining as well. So it's up to you how you want to keep adding to it. You can lock certain pages. You can create an escape room where only students who finish can go to the next room and so forth. Or you can actually have it created live as well. So you can do a lot of different things. Any other questions, Pawan?
No, Pawan.
Okay. So let me show you one more thing that teachers like. This is in the Tile Factory, where if you open the Tile Factory, you can do a lot of different things. You can make matching cards. You can make tiles that the students can move around to create sentences. Or this recent thing that we added, a guessing tile. So what this does is that you can type a name of a movie or a word that you want the students to guess, and it will make tiles for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hide it and type the name so you can see it. Right, and then if I hit create, right, so now if you go to your page number 3, you will see that on the bottom left is your page numbering thing. If you go to page number 3 on your board, you will see this, and you can play this game. I didn't format it properly, but you'll get the idea really. Right, so you can actually play the game. If you guess a letter wrong, you lose a bear, right? And if you do the right thing, it continues. And again, you can do this not only in English, but in any language really. Right? You can even make math puzzles out of this if you want to. So I just picked English alphabet, but you can change it to any other language if you wanted to. So yeah, you can see as the students are playing the game, right? You can see that who's doing well, who's not doing well, all of that. As a teacher, you can pay attention to exactly what is happening all around, right? Which makes it super useful. So I think we covered a lot of ground. Let me quickly show you in Teams, how does this look like? We showed Immersive Reader already. I'm going to show you Teams as well. So if you use Teams, right? So what you can do is that if you click this 3 dots on the left, you can find whiteboard.chat in there already, right? So if you add whiteboard.chat, it will directly take you to your managed boards. Of course, you need to create an account, right? Or you can log into your account, and then you can start teaching, right? So now this is in my personal tab, and if I were to share this with the students, right? If I say, okay, share it in Teams. Never mind. So I'm not using the same account, but if you click the share to Teams, what it does is that all the students, they will get a whiteboard.chat link inside Teams with exactly this whiteboard, right? So you can watch them as an instructor, and they'll get a student version of the board directly inside Teams. So it's an included app there on there already. So it's super easy to use. You just need to just start using it within Teams. And then you don't need to share links, none of that, right? It automatically Teams takes care of that. So I think if there are no more questions, maybe we can stop the recording. And then if anybody wants to interact with us, we can answer more things one-on-one basis. Or if you want me to show you more things, there are over 200 different features, but we deliberately don't want to cover all of them initially because it confuses people and there's a lot of stuff to handle at that time.